Right, guys, sorry about the cut out there. We're just going to do the video in two parts. So basically, we've just got 3 questions left, guys, we're going to hit you up with. So, Greg, what would you say is the most underutilised exercise in the gym?
I've put pull-ups. I think pull-ups are great for your obviously your posture. They strengthen your core as well. They're good for your body composition, giving you that V taper, and it's good to supplement other sports as well. So if you're a martial artist, like an MMA fighter, a judo practitioner, something like that, jiu-jitsu practitioner, it's really good for your upper body strength, and it builds that big strong back, which in turn increases the size of your upper body and makes you look great.
Absolutely. People doing lat pull downs instead, Greg, are they?
Yeah.
I totally agree. I have chins in all my programs: wide grip, underhand grip, close grip. For me, I agree with Greg. It's definitely an underutilised exercise. For me, it's the squat that's underutilised. People that do 3 sets and move on or not do it at all. Similarly, I think it's any hamstring movement. If you see people's people's programming for a leg session, they'll do squat, which I've just said people don't do, but you know what I'm saying. But they'll maybe do squat, lunges, leg press, leg extensions, 2 sets of leg curls. How is that going to build a balanced thigh? Now, for me, I train quads and calves on one session, hamstrings and calves on the other. And a hamstring session for me is going to be stiff leg deadlifts, heavy barbell. I'm then going to go to lighter dumbbell stiff leg deadlifts off a box to get additional stretch. I'm going to do lying curls at 2 different angles, standing curls also. So for me, it's hamstring movements. Remember, guys, it's exactly like your upper arms. You've got biceps and triceps.
It's a big muscle.
Yeah. Absolutely, and they're not going to develop. One's not going to develop without the other. So we're saying chins, we're saying squats, and we're saying any hamstring movements. Okay, don't do 20 sets of quads and 2 sets of hamstrings. Okay, you're asking for a serious knee injury as well. Yeah, look at footballers, always out with hamstring injuries. They're constantly kicking the ball, so they get an extension in the at the knee, firing out the quad, and they're not training enough hamstrings. Simple as that. Guys, I've got 2 questions left. Greg, what types of cardio do you recommend?
Well, quite a vast question. Obviously, it depends on your goal. Like we covered earlier, high intensity interval training, I love it because obviously...
Greg, can you just explain what that is for us, mate?
High intensity interval training obviously is intervals of high intensity, so like 80-90%, like blasting your body, and then a set pace of recovery after that. So
short bursts and long bursts. Short bursts, very, very, very high, and a substantial enough recovery period.
Yeah. So you feel your heart rate drop right down again, and then you explode again into the move. And you can do it. You can do it sprints outside. You can do it on an elliptical, a spin bike, a watt bike. I like to do it on.
It's probably the best chance to get your heart rate the highest. Maybe there, Greg, on something like a watt bike.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think that it depends on your goal. Like if you're looking to, if you're training for a show and you get to a certain point when you can't, you're fatigued. Obviously, you're dieting, you've tapered it right in, and you're not going to be out doing 20-minute hit training on a watt bike. Do you know what I mean? You're going to be, you're going to be hanging. So there's different. It depends on your situation. I like doing high intensity interval training because of the fitness benefits I get from it as well. It strengthens my heart and lungs, and I feel fit for martial arts training or what have you. But it depends, if you're to do
who sent this question in, Greg?
No, I can't.
No, yeah. So let's say that let's just block it off. So say if you're an older person who hasn't trained much, you just come into the gym, we'd probably recommend the bike and the cross trainer because it's going to be low impact. Yeah. And again, I'm just spitballing here. If you're someone like me who's quite heavy, but I'm going to say something like the cross trainer, the bike, Stairmaster is great. You see a lot of the pro bodybuilders using the Stairmaster. Someone like Greg who's muscular but lighter on his feet. He's going to be better at sprint work, so something like a treadmill would be great for Greg. If you're a runner, then the treadmill is going to be good for you. but if I could have one piece of cardio machine in my home gym, I'd personally have a Stairmaster. I think I can work myself the hardest on that and get the most benefit. Greg, what would you have?
Yeah, definitely a Stairmaster, a watt bike, or also I'll include, say after a weight session, I'll include a little circuit at the end just to give you that afterburn.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
That afterburn
yeah.
effect. If you're bored of like standing on, you know, a cross trainer or something like that, don't lift heavy weights. Obviously, just go through it, boom, boom, boom. Do some step ups, stuff like that, and just do it in 5 rounds of sort of thing.
Would that be timed or reps, Greg, or you could do a combination of both?
Combination of both.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hitting the bag as well, guys. Hit the bag. 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. 45 on, 15 off, whatever it might be. But yeah, what type of cardio do you recommend? Depends on your goal. If the bike hurts your knees, don't use the fucking bike. If running hurts your knees and your back, don't run. Or just train in a circuit fashion, like Greg said there. I think that's a great shout, to be honest, mate. Great shout. Right, we've got one more question, guys. This is obviously part 2 of the video. 53 minutes we chopped out there, but we're just coming back in to hit these last couple of questions. The last question is going to bring about all the actual, unfortunately, the negative points that we've had to go over today, and that is, what is your biggest mistake you see in the gym? So I know Greg doesn't like to see people lifting without a good tempo, and I totally agree with that. For me, I don't like to see people working to a non-periodised program. But something we'll quickly go over now, guys, and it's for me a big mistake in the gym is people that don't understand what overtraining is. So you see a lot of people, I don't want to overtrain. They might not be training enough. But you see a lot of people overtraining in the gym. Now, what does that mean? For me, overtraining is actually under-recovering. And the reason that I tend to see this the most, people overtrain because their diet isn't right. Okay? Someone like myself or Greg, whose diet is on point, we can train a lot longer, a lot harder, with a lot more volume and a lot higher frequency, because our diets are in the right place. So we're giving our bodies the correct nutrients to recover. What is training, guys? What are we trying to achieve when we train? If we're doing weight training, we're trying to break muscle fibers down with a view to then putting the nutrients in. Greg spoke about surrounding body parts with nutrients. So we're breaking muscle fibers down, we're then getting the right nutrients in post-training to rebuild them, okay? If your house blew over, you need new bricks to rebuild it, so that's where your protein comes from, your protein comes in. So yeah, for me, one of my big mistakes I see in the gym is people not giving their bodies what they need to recover. Okay, so Greg, what's your thoughts on that? I'm sure you've seen that quite a lot.
Exactly that. Obviously, a lot of people, inexperienced trainers, are under the misconception that the training in the gym is what makes you strong, and it does in part, obviously, but exercise has a negative impact on your body. It's the repair and the growth, the recovery that makes you stronger. So if you're like go back to them fad diets, if you're on taking a shake and not eating, starving, killing yourself in the gym, your body's thinking, what the fuck is going on? We haven't got the fuel to recover, so it's just going to tuck up and you're not going to go anywhere. All right, it's the recovery that makes you stronger. That's it.
Yeah, totally agree, mate. Totally agree. Right, guys, we've now been on camera for just over an hour, so we're going to wrap up. To those of you that have watched both parts of the video and have stuck us out for over an hour, we really, really appreciate it. Greg, thank you very much indeed for getting involved. Guys, you benefited from, hopefully, the knowledge of both of us today. Really appreciate, Greg, you coming in and doing your thing. Some great points that Greg put across, bits that I'd overlooked, and I think vice versa as well. We've covered 19 questions here, guys. We will be doing this again in 2 weeks' time. Either myself or Greg, or he'll do his own video and I'll do mine. But you'll expect to see us doing a bit of work together in the future. Remember, guys, if you want to book personal training with myself or with Greg, and we can't fit you in, we do a lot of referring between ourselves. Greg's a Physique elite personal trainer, so he's got some qualifications that I haven't got. I'm a platinum, so I've got some that he hasn't got. Greg also obviously does a lot of kickboxing coaching. But guys, my contact is lgb1212@yahoo.co.uk. If you're watching this video, likely it is you're watching it through the Facebook, so you know me anyway. Greg?
Yeah, I've got a Facebook page, Greg Allison Fitness, on Twitter as well, Greg at Greg Allison PT, I think it is.
Yep.
So just hit me up on there and we'll get something sorted.
Yep, brilliant. Guys, thank you very much for listening. We're done. Out.